Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you a Ninjago fan theory I have. But first, this may sound like jargon, but this has nothing going against it and a small amount of evidence for it. I'd also like to state that none of this is official and it is all just a fan theory. I do hope you guys enjoy. So, this theory is basically, what if some serpentines stayed in the realm of the wildness instead of following the others to Ninjago when they followed the first Spinjitzu master to Ninjago? So first we need to understand the serpentine history. The first Spinjitzu master brought the serpentine from the wildness to populate Ninjago. For this theory to work, some of the serpentine must have stayed behind in the wildness, and some must have been different enough to explain where the new looks for the serpentine have came from in Dragon's Rising. After all, in Dragon's Rising, there are so many different serpentine variations that did not appear in Rise of the Snakes. Another key part of this theory is that some of the Anacondrae must have been in that group of serpentine that stayed behind. Now, I believe the reason that they haven't appeared yet is because we haven't been to their particular part of the wilderness in the same way we haven't been to the Chima region of the wilderness yet in Dragon's Rising. Maybe the serpentine of different types we have seen so far, such as the purple hypnobri we saw in a couple of episodes I think, have actually been sent as scouts by the Anacondrae to decide if it's safe for them to explore. I also believe that one of these hybrid, that just spoiled a bit of the theory, but one of these purple hypnobri were basically joined the administration, and, well, I'll get to that later. The reason this is basically they must have some knowledge of the Serpentine War, such as the ghosts of Arcturus and the other Anacondrae generals that we saw in the last episode of Tournament of Elements, probably went back to the wilderness and told the remaining Anacondrae and Serpentine of the Serpentine War and the history of the Serpentine in Ninjago. Perhaps, also, the subspecies of Hypnobri Asphera is a part of may also still be alive in this area of the merged lands, and returned to the wilderness after Asphera's incident when she took over from Mambo the Fifth, and the Hypnobri who stayed behind became the modern Hypnobri. I also think the purple Hypnobri in Dragon's Rising are actually Hypnobri and Anacondrae hybrids. Now, if this is true, I believe these Anacondrae that these people are hybrids from will be a lot more peaceful and may even serve as help to the ninja in a future season to try and repair their image to the Ninjago residents. Another point is, we have seen many other serpentine varieties that didn't appear in the Rise of the Snakes, including Thrax's dad and mother, which had very different head shapes to other serpentine. We do have an image that is now, you can see on the screen. So, maybe they have been travelling between the realms since before the merge, perhaps via Traveller's Tea. Now, I do just want to add a little extra bit. Look at SSSSS Underwood. Her skin and eyes are similar to Anacondrae. She may be a hybrid, but that's just a fan theory of mine. Another point is Delphi's mother. She is red, meaning she is probably a vampire Hypnobri hybrid. You may be wondering what this has to do with the theory. Well, basically it means even if there are no pure Anacondrae other than Pythor and Strike left out there may still be Anacondrae genetics, and that means there is a slight chance for the Anacondrae to return. So overall, I do believe there may be more serpentine variants hiding in the wilderness that we have not seen yet, and that the wilderness is where all these new serpentine variations have come from. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.